Thank you very much for allowing me to be here tonight and talk about my vision of the labor movement. One of the great things about running is that you have to get out and talk to people, and people who support you remind you of things that you've done that lead them to support you. So I was reminded of something that I think illustrates the best of what we do in the BCFED and in the labor movement by Robert Demand from Unite Here, who talked about a time when I was president of the BC Teachers Federation and Unite Here was engaged in a bargaining dispute at the Delta Hotel. And Robert came to the officers of the Fed and talked about that dispute and about how many unions did a lot of business with that hotel. In fact, the BCTF at the time did $1 million worth of business with the Delta Hotel in Richmond. And so, coordinated by the BC Fed, I went with Robert to that hotel. And I talked to the management of that hotel. The union was seeking parity with the hotels downtown in terms of the number of rooms they had to clean in an hour, right? And I said to the management, the BCTF will only continue to do business with this hotel if you treat your workers fairly and give them parity with downtown hotels. And they got a deal at that hotel. And one of my best moments as president was when we had a rep assembly at that hotel after the settlement, and the workers from the hotel came into the room to thank us as teachers for getting the deal for them and making their lives better as workers. And that story illustrates to me what the Fed is all about. It's about being stronger together. That's why we organize in our unions, because we're stronger together. That's why we should support the Fed, because as unions, when we work together, we're stronger. And that kind of support and solidarity for each other is at the heart of what we do in the Fed and what we should continue to do. I talk about three things in my platform. For the first time, I have my own Facebook page, so I invite you to go there and like it, like it. And I have my own website, which has the platform on it. And I want to talk about three things on that platform. One is jobs, two is health and safety, and three is a federation for all workers. As a federation, we have to be about jobs, and we have to be about better jobs. We get better jobs by organizing more people into unions and by supporting each other in bargaining, just like the story I told you, and making unions stronger in bargaining. We have to improve the trades training system in this province. The Liberals actually know that, and they have decimated it. We need to provide those opportunities for young people. We have traditionally had good jobs in the trades, and we need to have those opportunities for young people again. We have to get rid of the division between jobs and the environment and say we want good jobs and a clean environment as well. And we've built a very resilient coalition with the environmental movement, where we've talked about better forestry practices and silviculture, better public transportation, construction, retrofitting every school and hospital in this province. Why aren't we doing that through project labor agreements where we provide good jobs and also clean the environment? Clean energy, we have a lot of room to move there. Health and safety. Our very most fundamental right as workers is a healthy and safe workplace. The Federation is the largest preventative health and safety trainer in Western Canada, and not a single penny of per capita goes to that. We get all that money from workers' compensation. I'm very proud of that. But we also have to talk about criminal prosecution of employers who cause the serious injury or death of workers. And the Federation has been on the front line of that, and we need to continue to be that. Finally, I will say in my last minute that we are privileged as union members, and we have to share that privilege with all the workers in the province. We have to be a federation for all workers, because we raise people up. We do that through a minimum wage campaign, for employee action rights network, through the many ways in which we say we are the voice for workers. I have been a local president in my union, president of a large public sector union, chief negotiator for 41,000 teachers, and if you want a tough job, that's only a little bit tougher than teaching grade 9 math, which I've also done. But most of all, I'm doing this because I am passionate about being a voice for workers and ensuring that the labor movement takes its rightful place in making a more equal and socially just province. Thank you very much.